Manchester United are taking potential colossal losses on all their recent acquisitions of very, very expensive players. Of course, Jadon Sancho, Rasmus, Hojlund, Antony. They're trying to desperately rebuild under new manager Ruben Amorim, and they've spent hundreds of millions, despite, Jim Ratcliffe telling us it's austerity Man United, they've got no money, they're gonna go bust, to suddenly spending, 63 odd million on Matheus Cunha, 71 million on Mbermo, and now seemingly, 80 odd million on Benjamin Sesko. So yes, lots of money suddenly being spent all over the gaff, and they're trying to desperately sell recent acquisitions that haven't worked for huge discounts, and we're going to get into that today. Rasmus Hojlund being the latest one, touted for a discount fee. Incredible, really. Guys, welcome back to the channel. Football Yannick, how are you doing? Good, I hope. Welcome back. Daily content over on this YouTube channel, of course. Daily football content. We are on the road to 20,000 subscribers, so thank you for joining me as always. Thank you for, supporting the content. You can do that by liking and subscribing. Right, so let's get into this then. Latest article, or sorry, story, should I say, coming from Tutto Mercato Web, Italian publication. Milan, AC Milan, are talking to Manchester United, and they've almost reached an agreement for a loan for Rasmus Hojlund, 5 million euros, which is about 3 million quid. Not much, really. With an option to buy. So it's not an obligation. They're not forced to. It's an option for 34 million pounds. 34 million pounds. He's been there for a couple of seasons, Rasmus Hojlund. Yeah. A couple of seasons, bless him. Did okay at Atalanta, but it was a prospect thing. He didn't score loads of goals. And they signed him for 80 million euros. So they signed him for 80 million euros. That in pounds is about 70 million pounds. So they're literally going to get less than half they spent on him a couple of seasons later, should they buy him. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, firstly, just to talk about the player himself, Hojlund. Look, he should never have, like many of these young footballers, he should never have gone to Manchester United. It was the wrong move for him. They were buying potential. It wasn't potential that was recognised. Look, lots of teams looked at him. My mob, Chelsea, looked at Hojlund until they heard how much it cost, and they were like, haha, no thank you, see you later. Going back to Italy would be a good move for him, I think. Of course, played for Atalanta, in and out of the team, scoring the odd goal. Going to Man United, suddenly being asked to be the starting striker for Manchester United. It was way too big a task, understandably, for most young players. Going back to an Italian club in a league where he looked promising, to a big club in Milan, a huge club, probably is the right move for the player. So I kind of understand it. Many of you would have seen that recent interview with him sounding like a proper mank kid, like literally. It's like, Oasis mad for it, Mank. It's so funny hearing him being interviewed. I was like, how have you suddenly got this potent accent from the Midlands? Anyway, so that's probably good for him. But I want to speak about Manchester United a little bit more broadly, because this is a huge, colossal loss. Now, it moves me on smartly to Jadon Sancho. Now, Jadon Sancho cost Manchester United about £75 million. Again, not too long ago. 75 million quid. What's that? 85, 6, 7 million euros. And they've reduced his asking price. It's like a week ago, the news came out, to 17 million pounds. From 75 million pounds to 17 million pounds. That is absolutely an incredible loss. I mean, obviously he's spent a few years there now, in terms of, his contract running down. I'm just going to quickly see how long he's got left on his contract, but still, this is a colossal loss. He's only got a year left on his deal. That is incredible. That is incredible. It feels like time's gone like that. So he signed a 5-year deal. He joined in 2021. And actually, it felt like they'd been trying to sign him for for a long, long time, doesn't it? It felt like they were trying to sign him for like 2 years. I'm looking on Transfermarkt now. His highest market value was 130 million euros. I mean, that was when he was like playing in the England team, playing for Borussia Dortmund, scoring loads of goals, scoring. He was, lest we forget, guys, Jadon Sancho was a starter for England for a very short period of time. I remember Callum Hudson-Odoi got the call up. He got the call up. For a very short period of time, Jadon Sancho was starting games. I think possibly on the right, Rashford possibly on the left. He was when he was still at Dortmund, and then he went to Man United. That is, time flies, bro. He's been there for 4 years. Yeah, that is incredible. Sorry, it's blown my mind, really. Yes, so they signed him in 2021. He's been there for 4 years, so he's got a year left on this deal, so that kind of makes more sense as well. He's on huge wages. Yeah, 25 down to 17 million. I suppose the point still stands. He is just represented a distressed, failed asset for Manchester United. A £75 million investment. Yeah, it's saying 85 million euros here, which is about 75 million pounds. Didn't really get anything out of them what they wanted to, apart from paying him ridiculously high wages, and now has to sell the player for really nothing, basically, in just hope they can alleviate themselves of his really high wages. He's on massively high wages. Yeah, crazy. Wow, what story. He's only 25. They probably in their head thought, okay, well, we're gonna, obviously, it goes well, we'll sign him down to another deal. Manchester United will be great again. Jadon Sancho's the future. Turns out it wasn't so much the case. So, of course, Hojlund was far more of a recent acquisition. Of course, they bought him in 2023-24 season, so he's had a couple of seasons there. So yeah, 4 years of Sancho and Man United. Of course, he went to Dortmund and then Chelsea, yada yada yada. I suppose it makes sense, but wild, really. And then, of course, yes, they've sent Marcus Rashford off to Barcelona. I don't know what the situation is there. I think there might not be a loan fee, but Barcelona are paying all his wages, which I think suits all parties. He'll be hoping to shine and score goals and just, I think he loves Manchester United, but I think he just desperately wants to get out, doesn't he, Rashford? Like all the rest of them. And Antony, man. I mean, Antony's another one. Obviously, this is the legacy of Ten Hag, isn't it? Sorry, I'm just going to quickly get this up. It's the legacy. He wanted to sign Antony. It was a mental deal. He cost 100 million euros for a player who was playing for Ajax, a superpower in the Eredivisie, the Dutch league, and he had yet to outscore and out-assist when Mason Mount was there playing in midfield for Vitesse, which shows you he never really had productivity for Ajax at any real huge level that would command the fee that he ended up going for, which is, again, insane money. 95 million euros is insane. It's absolutely incredibly insane. Transfermarkt has his current value. I mean, his highest market value was 75 million euros by Transfermarkt, and he went for 20 million euro, Man United tax. I mean, it always goes for a little bit more if the player's not for sale, but not 20 million more. That is very much Manchester United tax. It's got him listed as current market value here is 35 million euros, which is what, 29 million pounds, probably about right. Should they sell him, which they're desperately trying to do, they will probably go. They would if someone waived 30 million pounds at Man United for Antony, I guess they'd take it. This is a huge, colossal loss. Again, joined Manchester United in 2022. Same time as Rasmus Hojlund-ish, I suppose. And between them, 95 million euros, 85 million euros. Let me just do the math. I mean, I did get it in my head, but I had to just double check on a calculator. 180 million euros. 180 million euros to maybe get back, God, if you had freaking Sancho in there as well. I know he came before, so it's kind of not the same. You can't really bunch them in. But that is like another, what is it, 90 odd million. That's just so much money that they'll make tuppence for absolutely nothing coming back. And I guess they'll think it can keep them afloat. I think they deserve a degree of credit, Man United, because they've literally just pushed the panic button like, oh my God, stop being shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, Mbeumo, Cunha, Seshko's a bit of a risk, but he's recognised as a big boy number 9 that will do what they want ultimately. There's a reason why Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, and indeed Man United have looked at him, and probably some clubs on the continent as well. There's a reason for it. So they've just broken glass for him. I think what everyone can agree on is he would represent an upgrade from Rasmus Hojlund, yeah? We all agree? Right, we're fine. Now you put Bruno Fernandes, Cunha and Burmo behind him. It is like, right, none of these transfers are Antony, Rasmus and Sancho, like young, should get better, should be worth more money. They tried to do what Chelsea are doing now, getting players that will be worth more in the future. Completely backfired. They're all worth dramatically less. Scrap that plan. We finished 15th. We're nowhere near Europe. We still make a lot of money. We're still Man United. We've still got the draw. But how long can this happen? Break glass. Get performers in there. Between 20 and 25 and 30 guys who can perform now. Get them now. And they've seemingly done that. Of course, Seshko as a striker's younger, but I'm talking about Cunha and Burmo. They're both over 25, and of course Bruno's in pushing 30 or whatever. It's like, yes, you can all basically perform now. You all believe in yourselves. You've all proven to yourselves you can operate in the Premier League well. Come to Man United, do that, get us into the top 8. Because I know Cunha, and Burmo's just had a great season. Cunha plays for Brazil. But they both have come from Wolves and Brentford respectively. So if you say, right, come and put on the Manchester United shirt and qualify for Europe, they'd be like, yeah, great. And they probably can do that, even if it's Conference League, So I have a degree of respect for Man United. Like, no more of this, like, almost like, because people put this at Chelsea, like, there's a certain degree of arrogance, thinking you can just operate like this and do business like this and it works out. It looks like it could work for Chelsea, but it's very hard to pull off. So they've been like, now bun all that, let's just get good players in, let's perform now, let's get good operators in, and they're seemingly doing that. But the financial losses of these players are colossal. They will look at this and be like, this absolutely can never happen again, and probably literally can't in terms of financial damage on the books. But it's pretty crazy. Let me know what you think, guys. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section. Do keep it locked to Football Yannick. Yeah, thank you for liking and subscribing. I'll see you back here soon. Hopefully. Peace.